So this is a universal. That's why this is the Lotus Sutra is a universal teaching. So all embracing, all encompassing.
I see what you're saying.
When
so
you
Buddha
came into the discussion, though, we focused on the Shakyamuni Buddha and his teachings.
Right.
So that was where we were at. But no, so I don't associate one with the other, the Eternal Buddha and the Shakyamuni Buddha. You're saying that this is overriding, the Eternal Buddha is the overriding truth.
Eternal Buddha.
No, I understand.
So this is the expanded notion of Buddha.
Yes.
So from historical Buddha, so I can write. So,
yes.
It's expression historical Buddha. Buddha. And Buddha nature, before Buddha nature, in chapter 2, 3, who do you have? I mean, different levels of the disciples. So,
oh yes, you mean
Shravaka, Pratyeka Buddha, Bodhisattva, different levels.
Right.
But Lotus Sutra says there is no different levels. No different levels. We are all trying to reach the Buddha. We all have Buddha nature.
Amazing.
All embracing, right? And not just Shakyamuni Buddha who lived in India, but it's eternal Buddha.
Yes.
It's a truth itself, Tathagata, truth. Tathagata, how do you spell?
T-H-A-G-A-T-A.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah? So Tathagata is a truth.
You did it right.
So Shakyamuni Buddha comes. Shakyamuni Buddha, historical Buddha, was a manifestation of the truth. But we're already in the truth, in the ultimate truth.
Yes.
So that's a very, very big difference from the Theravada Buddhism and the ordinary people's thinking at that time. And then, another thing, that Lotus Sutra, you have to practice. You have to... So I think Bodhisattva concept was not deeply manifested in chapter 11, but
it's still there.
Still there.
It's still there.
Because it's from the bottom, from the up. So unless... You can't just talk about the philosophical things, conceptual things, but you have to talk about the practical things, down to the ground. So that's some manifestation of the Bodhisattva notion in chapter 11. Right? So when you try to understand the Lotus Sutra, you always look at Lotus Sutra passages and chapters from these three angles. Then beautiful expressions are already there.
Bless you. Bless you. That's very interesting. That's good. You mentioned that, and I forgot. That's good.
We come from the earth, and we're going back to the earth.
Through the wonderful lectures, presentations from
excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you both.
On chapter 11.
Rose and James.
That's right. And we learned the essences of the Lotus Sutra. Three very important essences in the Lotus Sutra. Number one is Buddha nature. We all know this. But in the ancient India and in the old paradigm, there are differentiations. Certain persons, certain level people can reach enlightenment, but others will not. That was the perception, but Lotus Sutra surpassed all differences and said everyone has a potential to become Buddha, or everyone, all sentient beings are the manifestation of Buddha. So that's number one. Number two is the new concept eternal Buddha. Everyone at that time in India thought that the human beings, Shakyamuni Buddha is a Buddha. But Lotus Sutra changed that perception. And not only human beings, Shakyamuni Buddha, but it's a truth manifested by the Shakyamuni Buddha. So absolute truth, eternal truth. So that what Shakyamuni Buddha was enlightened to was the truth. Truth was called Tathagata. Truth. And third point, this is very, very important. This is a new concept in Mahayana Buddhism and powerfully presented in the Lotus Sutra. Bodhisattva. We are not talking about philosophical, conceptual things, but we are practicing. So Bodhisattva, in the Lotus Sutra there are different Bodhisattvas, manifestation of different virtues and different types of practice. So Bodhisattva never despise, chapter 20, and repentance we talked about is from the Sutra of Contemplation. And it's another Bodhisattva. This is another way to practice this. So in the Lotus Sutra we can see different examples of practice, Buddhist practice. That's Bodhisattva. So Lotus Sutra is special because of this revolutionary thinking, dramatic change of paradigm. Buddha nature, eternal Buddha, and the Bodhisattva way. And in our conversation, we talked about different things, cause and effect. It's causation, how to build positive causation. Everything starts from oneself. And we are not blaming others, but we have to start from ourselves, and the causation is a truth. And Four Noble Truths emerge from the truth. This is about the truth, cause and effect, causation, and how to build positive causation. That's the Four Noble Truths. And Four Noble Truths is practiced in Rissho Kosei-kai through Hosa. We bring challenges, problems, and then we apply this truth. So this is a Four Noble Truths. And also in our conversation, we talked about Japanese terms. Tariki, it's surrendering yourself to the divine power. So
Buddha's arrangement.
Buddha's arrangement. So that's surrendering completely. The other term is jiriki. Jiriki is oneself. It's important. Jiriki is important. You have to try your best. You have to devote yourself. Jiriki, oneself. But ultimately, everything is Buddha's arrangement. So you have to surrender yourself. Let go. So that's tariki. And kyoriki. Esther mentioned the different reverence, great courage and dedication, and fearlessness. We talked about noi, right? Yeah, so fearlessness. That kind of power comes from sutra recitation and a deep sense of being guided and protected by Buddha. So that comes from kyoriki. It's a power of sutra recitation and the power of being protected by the Buddha. And 10 suchnesses and causation, it's all comes, these truth. 10 suchnesses, cause and effect. Four Noble Truths is fundamental teaching of Buddhism. So, just for your information, Four Noble Truths and Eightfold Path, they are before Lotus Sutra. They're also taught in the Theravada Buddhism, not only Mahayana Buddhism, but Theravada Buddhism. But today, Reverend Kamiya was implying at the end of, I don't know if you noticed, at the end of his lecture, Reverend Kamiya said that the Four Noble Truths I explained today, in the next session, I will talk about the interpretation of Four Noble Truths through Mahayana Buddhism, that the Lotus Sutra. So, Four Noble Truths is a common Buddhist teachings shared by Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism, but there is a particular way to interpret Four Noble Truths. If we interpret through these lenses, then Four Noble Truths becomes very, very lively and shining methodology. So that's the next session. I think Reverend Kamiya will try to present. So I think we and Eternal Buddha, in other words, historical one bhikkhu.
Yes,
One bhikkhu we always talked about. Great harmony, all embracing. That's the concept of Eternal Buddha. So I think sometimes it's important for us to relate our own understanding and vocabularies, messages, teachings of Buddhism to the Lotus Sutra. I think normally everything we say, we talk about, relates to the Lotus Sutra, because we are in the founder Niwanos organization and the Lotus Sutra organization. So we talk about message from the Buddha and other things. Everything can be traced back to the Lotus Sutra. So that's beautiful.